Welcome back to Little Stinkers, baby. Man, what a fucking night we were having. We just finished our live AMA with our patrons.
Whew. That was fun as hell.
I feel like I just had sex.
Do you? Did you come?
I nutted everywhere. You didn't see it, feel it, or smell it?
Not from that light switch bird.
Well, I felt great, and for those of you that joined us on our Patreon AMA, that was so much fucking fun, and I can't wait to do the next one. Cal Dunjala, welcome back.
Motorcycle. Good to see you.
Jacob, motherfucking Furman Matera.
Hey, guys.
Danny Dubs, how are you, buddy? All right, this is great, man. God damn.
Yeah, we're riding high. That was fun.
I don't know what to do with myself.
Doing the Patreon just for the fucking live. Yo, peep my live, dude.
Man, that was so goddamn fun, man. Feeling great. I really hope we get to do my stinker tonight. But there's always a chance that you get to do your Impractical Joker episode.
There is always a chance.
Do you have that quarter?
I do. You ready to test fate?
I am.
All right. Well, then here we go. I'm going to flip this coin.
Okay.
If you win the toss,
Yep.
we'll talk about a murderer.
He's local.
Or something. A local guy?
Yeah.
Local yokel?
Local to Philadelphia.
All right. Okay. That's kind of intriguing.
You actually live pretty close to him.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
If it's the Delco Diddler, I want to shit my pants.
Jake, I got bad news for you. You already did.
Real quick, during the AMA, somebody asked if the Delco Diddler was ever prosecuted for stealing Jake. No, because Jake had to be a fucking dickhead and didn't show up to testify against him.
He slept in that day.
So now the Delco Diddler's free to eat peanut butter out of somebody else's butt cheeks.
To be fair, I didn't have a car because Mike was at the laundromat.
Fried your ass.
Oh, somebody actually messaged me to say, like, I do laundry on vacation, too. So
Yeah?
I appreciated that.
Oh.
Yeah, I like to talk to
That's a-
people he goes on vacation with
a
and see if
real-
they're as happy as he is.
I don't understand why that's weird.
Daddy, I just want to
And
go
I
to
think-
Disney.
I think that's a big problem that you don't understand that it's
Wait,
weird.
Mike, did you do laundry when you went to Disney?
Ooh,
Or did you make Goofy
No,
do it
I
for
did
you?
because I had a washer and dryer in my villa.
Ooh.
That seems way more reasonable than going to a laundromat,
Yeah.
spending
Yeah.
an hour and a half off site.
I would have called room
I would have
service.
done it anyway, but
Asked
I
for,
mean,
asked for Daffy Duck to come up and do it.
I was going to say some goofy shit,
Yeah.
for real.
What the? I asked for Goofy. They sent Pluto.
One of these motherfuckers might be a cow. There's rumors, there's talk
of what?
of Goofy being a cow.
What?
I swear to God, there's talk.
John, get the fuck out of my house.
Dog, come on, you're a Disney bitch.
Where's this information coming from?
You're a Disney princess.
I am a Disney bitch, yes.
Disney bitch is a step up from Disney princess.
Where is this information coming from?
Jake, if you gotta look it up, you've never heard this?
No, I never heard this.
Is Goofy a dog or a cow?
He's clearly a fucking dog.
I don't know.
Let's see.
I wish this was live chat.
Goofy, a cow or dog?
Is it probably autofills, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, how many
What does it say?
Fucking hits are there on this site?
Species: anthropomorphic dog or dog face.
Could
That's
just be a
awesome.
fucking dog. Go to the link that says, is he a cow? I'm not making this shit up. I don't think he's a cow, pal.
All right, well, why would you even introduce it if you don't think it's true? It's just like me saying that I think you're a dog fucker. I have no evidence to support that.
Why would we do an entire episode on OJ if you don't think he murdered him? If I win the coin flip, we're all going to put on fucking bikinis and talk about the Impractical Jokers, all right?
All right.
Here we go.
All right. You make some good points.
Lady Luck. Fuck. Mike.
We get to do your neighbor.
Is this... I'm starting to get...
Lucky for me? Yeah, dude, it's awesome. That's my lucky
sure
coin.
is your lucky quarter. I might bring my own next week.
Wow, there really is a cow.
What are you talking about? There is a cow.
Clarabelle cow.
Well,
Yeah.
that's totally fucking different.
Well, do her and Goofy get it on at any point?
Well, yeah, I think like she was drawn to kind of like be Goofy's lady.
And is that weird in the Disney universe?
There was
Are there any other
they were definitely
interspecies
not doing-
couples?
Yeah, they were definitely not doing interspecies.
Donald Duck
in
never fucked Minnie
1930.
Mouse.
If there's any Disney animation perverts out there, can you please draw me Goofy fucking Ariel from The Little Mermaid?
Goofy Ariel.
Is it when she has legs or no?
Ooh, I'm gonna go without legs.
Where's the fish pussy? Or is it all TF?
It's all under the sea, baby. It's better down where it's wetter, John.
Is it all titty fucking?
No, man. You can fuck gills. You never tried to fuck a fish?
Whoa, buddy. No, I haven't.
I don't do fish. I don't even know.
Go ahead, Mike. What was your question?
I was gonna ask, like, do fish have pussies? Do they, Furman?
That just rung my bell, dude. I am ringing right now.
Although it would be kind of funny if they had big ass dicks. It looks like I got two.
Just seeing a flounder with like a fucking a real hammer. No, I don't think they have. I don't think they have. I mean, I should know fish anatomy. They lay eggs.
Okay.
They have like a little hole that poops out the eggs.
And then the men fertilize the eggs.
Yeah, like I think. How do they mate? Is they just like kind of like slap up against each other? Kind
They
of.
only
don't
do
think there's
reverse
anything
cowgirl.
You mean reverse Goofy Girl?
I have no idea how anything works.
I see a Snopes debunker. Is it
False.
Is it debunked?
What, did you type in fish have pussies?
I'm on Snopes, and it says the Disney cartoon character Goofy was modeled after a breed of Scottish cow. The rating is false.
Good.
Okay. A
Thanks.
breed of Scottish cow.
Well, anything else you want to lie to people about, you fucking dickhead?
Nope, I'm ready for you to give me a nightmare tonight.
All right, cool. All right, like I said, this motherfucker used to be a neighbor of yours.
Really?
Yeah. He had a house in North Philly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck.
He had a house that he converted into a church. This was a typical North Philly home that doubled as a fucking church.
Did he start a religion and like become
did.
tax exempt because of
He
that?
did. He was very slick with money, and he actually started a religion from a mental institution.
What year is this?
This was 70s and 80s, and he was arrested late 80s, put to death 1999.
Oh shit.
A good little run. I'm talking about Gary motherfucking Heidnick. His middle initial is M.
Heidnick, hiding bodies.
Yeah, hiding that dick,
Hiding
baby.
dick. He was put to death in Pennsylvania in 1999.
He's the last person that was put to death in PA.
Get the fuck out of here! I
Yep.
was going to ask a relevant question.
Yep. July 6, 1999, he was put to death by lethal.
Wow.
At least he got to see one last fireworks before he went.
He was a wild fucking bull. All right. So he was born November 22nd, 1943 in East Lake, Ohio. Had fucked up parents. His dad's name was Michael. His mother's name was Ellen. So he also had a younger brother named Terry who was pretty fucked up too. Like everything about this family was fucked. The dad was super abusive and an alcoholic. The mom was mentally ill and an alcoholic. When Gary Heidnick was 2, his parents became divorced. Initially, they lived with the mom, but then when the kids became school age, they went to go live with the dad. At this point, the dad had remarried, and his wife hated fucking Gary and his brother, too.
I'm just going to start doing Jim from The Office when you do that. Just look at the camera. P.U. Stinky.
Dude, in the divorce papers. All right, well, I guess when you got to file for divorce, you got to give a reason for why you want to be divorced.
Yeah. And it can't just be, I've grown to hate this woman.
I guess you could put that, but I don't know if they would accept it. Ellen Heidnick gave her
Jesus
reason.
Christ.
It smells, doesn't it?
Sure does. I'm thinking we should pause the episode and I should leave for a few minutes.
Where are you going to go?
I got nowhere to go. You're right.
All right. So when it came time for both Michael and Ellen Heidnick to give reasons for the divorce, Ellen stated gross neglect of duty, and Michael stated that Ellen was a wild woman and a boozer.
Sounds like you've been neglecting some duty yourself. Go take a shit, Mike.
I don't have to. Dude, just because you burp doesn't mean you have to throw up.
That's not how those two systems work.
Well, neglect of duty is a valid reason for divorce.
What does that mean? You're just not a good dad? You're not around?
Yeah, you're not fulfilling the duties of a good spouse. The kids live with Michael up until the kids live with Ellen up until they're school aged. Then at that point, they go to live with their father and their new stepmother, who hates them. Not nearly as much as their father, Michael. And Michael seems to particularly hate Gary more than his brother, Terry. I imagine it's pretty easy to hate kids named Gary and Terry.
But
you shouldn't do it.
Somehow got a pass.
Yeah, Terry got a pass just because his dad hated him so fucking bad. To make matters worse, Gary Heidnick was picked on in school. He was picked on mostly for having a very fucked up head.
Dude, draw the head for me. Describe the dome, please.
So I'll just show you this Google image of this fucking head. His head was so fucked up that his classmates called him football head.
Is he the
Hey Arnold
inspiration for Hey Arnold?
He may as well be. But he was weird to begin with in school, but kids really fucked with him for having this fucked up ass head. Look at that fucking head, dude.
Whoa, that's football head in the other direction.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, man.
Man, so his head's super fucked up, and he's weird to begin with, and he has a hard time interacting with kids. So this kid's living a fucking nightmare life. As with pretty much every other serial killer, severe head injury. He falls out of a tree and lands on the top of his head.
Damn.
So he's got that fucked up going for him. He's a bedwetter, too. His dad tries to shame him out of bedwetting, which never fucking works.
Just taunting you out of fucking peeing your pants in your sleep?
Dude, he would fucking beat him with a toy plane.
That's not taunting, Mike.
Well, where the taunting comes into play was he would take the pissy sheets and hang them in the window.
Oh, no.
For neighbors to see.
Wow. And then beat the shit out of him in the meantime.
Dude, on top of that, this is where he started to hate Terry a little bit, too. Terry recalled a moment where the dad was so fucking mad at the both of them that he painted a bullseye onto the backs of their jeans that they were wearing to school the next day.
Oh, my God. That's pretty funny. That guy's a stinker. That's certified.
Wait, that's real?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So these kids couldn't fucking win. All throughout his childhood, Gary Heidnick had an interest in two things primarily, which were business and anything military.
Growing up, he had an interest in business?
He did. He eventually, his dad saved up enough money to send him to military school. And he went to, in 9th grade, he went to a place called Staunton Military Academy in Virginia. Initially, he did okay there, but as time progressed, he eventually just started not listening to orders, started doing what the fuck he wanted to do. So at some point during his junior year, he dropped out. And he went back home to the Cleveland area. Went to a couple different high schools. It didn't take. By the time he got to his senior year, he was just like, fuck it, I'm not going to school anymore. So by 1961, he drops out. And he joins the Army. When he gets to the Army, he tries out a few different jobs. They wouldn't let him do certain things, but what they would let him become was a medic. Initially, he's stationed at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas. Does pretty well. He's a decent medic, but on top of that, too,
you get trained by the Army to be a medic. It's
you
not
can,
like you're
yeah.
a doctor first, and then you become a medic.
Well, you know what? That's a great question. I know. The medics, which were called corpsmen that we had in the Marine Corps, were Navy guys. So I wonder if everybody's got to go through, if the Navy handles all the medical schooling.
Okay.
But he was a member of the Army.
Right.
Stationed at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio, Texas. And he's really good at saving money. Really good at living a fucking miserly existence. All throughout his life, not just, in the military, they provide everything that you fucking need. But at the same time.
Do you get anything weekly on
you
top
do.
of your room and board?
It's not a lot, but it depends upon rank. Depending upon what your rank is, you get paid a higher and higher
like
amount.
a couple $100 a week if you're a private, something like that. Yeah.
Dude, when I was in 1999, when I was a private first class, I think I was getting $420 every 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. Not much.
It's not much. Like you don't have to fucking
But you got
your
nothing
meals
to
and your
spend
fucking
money on.
housing's.
What if you want chips in your room? You go to
you
the
gotta pay for that
store
shit.
and pay for it
You
yourself.
gotta pay for that shit. So, dude, he's able to amass enough money as to where while he's a medic on the base, he becomes a loan shark.
Whoa.
Yeah, pretty fucking cool.
Damn.
So he's fucking making money when he doesn't like not fucking doing anything.
Yeah.
He's making money there. Eventually, this was a surprise to me. He never foresaw this. In May of 1962, he gets transferred to Landstuhl, Germany, and he's not able to collect on many of the debts that are owed to him. So altogether, he leaves behind about $5,000 in unpaid debts, and the dudes are just like, "Fucking sayonara, dude. I'm never going to see you again."
Whoa.
Yep. He gets there, and in August of 1962, his mental issues start to take shape. He starts complaining of dizziness, vomiting, blurred vision, nauseousness, headaches. Eventually, he gets diagnosed with schizophrenia. In 1963, his symptoms have become so pronounced that he's recommended for discharge. Now, one thing that really works out in his favor is because he's been labeled as a schizophrenic by an Army doctor, he gets 100% pension after only being in the Army for 14 fucking months.
What the
Wow.
fuck?
Yep. So he's getting a government pension for disability and the military pension.
The dude is good with money.
He ends up making about $2,000 a month from the two of those combined.
That's incredible.
It is. One thing. Oh, my God. Right before we went live in recording this, I was looking up something relative to one of his marriages.
Yeah.
And I found out something regarding his...
Is this already?
I can tell you this right now.
Okay.
Yeah. There was a VA doctor who used to treat him, a psychiatrist.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary Heidnick's VA psychiatrist was named Dr. Dick Hole.
Fuck you, dude. Oh my God, that's the funniest fucking doctor of all time. He chose it. He chose to be called Dick.
I think so, too.
He could have been Richard Hole. Everybody would have called him Dick Hole, but it wouldn't have been on his fucking business card. That guy's a stinker.
He is.
Good for him, Dr. Dick Hole.
Wow.
Did you look it up?
Dude, he's still practicing. He's
What's he practicing?
he's in what is this? Psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's still active in
How
Philadelphia.
old is he?
Let's find out. That's an old dick. I shouldn't look.
Jake,
Dr.
you better get out of that fucking image search, dude. Do that on your own computer, bro.
That was a trap set by John.
Yeah, I'll bet. So
I'm
while,
just laughing at dick holes, Jake.
so while Jake's busy Googling fucking birds, we'll get back to the conversation. So he's honorably discharged, and at this point, for some reason, he heads to Philly. When he comes to Philly, he decides to become an LPN.
What's that mean?
A licensed practical nurse.
Okay.
Becomes an LPN. On top of this, too, he's taking courses at University of Penn.
I'm more like a JPN, Joker Impractical Nurse. Jake, you can edit that on the fly, please.
Sorry, Googling dick holes.
All right. The guys got to stay in there. Go on.
So he starts taking courses at University of Penn, and a lot of them are centered upon business and marketing because he's always had an interest in these things. And now, like, he's learning how to make money.
And he's paying for his own way through college with this $2,000 a month
No,
stipend?
the Army's fucking paying for this.
Oh, damn.
Oh, actually, I can't be certain, but I think I just assumed that. I will have to find that out for you.
Either way, in
But dude,
the
I
60s
doubt-
or 70s, that's plenty of money to pay for college education.
Dude, he's so frugal that I wouldn't doubt that he figured out some way other than to pay with his own money.
Dude, if you said to somebody like, "Hey, here's a college that Gary Heidnick and Donald Trump went to," you'd be like, "That has to be the worst college of all time."
Nope,
Well,
it's
dude-
one of the best. It's Ivy League.
Dude, the military school that he went to was also known for having its graduates go on to careers in government.
Yeah.
So I mean, like he was like on a decent track.
The high school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Staunton
Yeah.
in Virginia. So I mean, like there's a lot of different places where he's gravitating toward and initially doing well in, that could have potentially set him on a path for a different trajectory.
Yeah.
However, being fucking Heidnick ass Heidnick, he gets fired from his jobs just for sloppy work and then also for his attitude.
His job's in Philly?
Yes.
What's he doing here?
So he's a nurse.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently he was just really bad at anywhere where he worked, so he would get fired. In 1970, his mom commits suicide. She takes something called mercuric chloride. Kills herself with that. Shortly thereafter, Gary Heidnick starts attempting suicide. At first, he tries to OD on Thorazine. And then after that, he tries to OD on rat poison.
Jesus.
How do you try to kill yourself if your doctor is Dick Hole? Like, that puts everything back into perspective.
They refer you to Dr. Dickhead. Dude, on top of all this shit, like, he's getting crazier and crazier. He's admitted for a psychiatric emergency. While they're having him strip down and take all of his shit out of his pockets, he takes his socks off. They notice that he has a string attached to his big toe. And his big toe is clearly losing circulation. They're like, what the fuck is going on here? He said that he's trying to give himself gangrene in the hopes that it'll spread throughout his body and kill him.
Pussy. That ain't real. That dude's a bitch.
All right.
He just goes outside not wearing a jacket.
On top of this, too, like, when he gets out, he ends up having another psychiatric meltdown. He smashes a piece of wood over his brother Terry's head.
Damn.
They both get sent to the same hospital. So Terry's, like, sitting in his room, nursing his fucking head wound, and Gary Heidnick appears in his brother's room. And Terry Heidnick says to him, "You could have killed me." He's like, "No, actually I didn't." He's like, "What would you have done if you had killed me?" He's like, "I would have put you in the bathtub. I would have poured acid in the tub in the hopes that it'll melt your bones away." He's like, "But I would have had to have been careful with the mixture so that I didn't damage the pipes."
Well, yeah, it's straight out of Breaking Bad.
Okay.
It'll eat right through the ceramic. There's only a certain kind of plastic that will not be bled through.
Is this true?
Acid. If fucking
Yeah,
if Gilligan, what's his name? Terry Gilligan?
Vince Gilligan.
If Vince Gilligan's not full of shit, then I believe it's true.
Well, he's the X-Files man, so I believe him.
He is.
Is
yeah.
he?
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
originally X-Files writer.
No way.
Yeah.
I want to believe.
Perfect. Mike, you're a goddamn dream.
Thanks, buddy. Oh, dude, you'll get a kick out of this. You're a motorcycle man. In 1971, Gary Heidnick is admitted to a VA hospital for another psychiatric meltdown. He shows up wearing a motorcycle jacket. It smells so fucking bad that in his report, the doctor who's doing the intake, he says his jacket smells so bad that it's causing social disturbances.
What's it smell bad for?
Just everything. He doesn't bathe.
Oh. Yuck.
He's a nasty motherfucker, man.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
But he's good with money.
Yeah.
Dude, and when he gets taken into the hospital this time, again, like he's the incident with the brother smashing the shit over his brother's head was his first documented instance of violence.
Yeah.
And it's going to gradually ramp up the crazier he gets and the more that he's left to his own devices. While he's in for this hospital visit, he starts this new trend where he rolls a pant leg up. He rolls it all the way up, and he lets the hospital staff know, when you see this pant leg rolled up, it means that I do not want to be spoken to.
Okay. Normal guy stuff right there.
In spring of 1971, he gets out. He decides to leave his apartment in Philly to go get a cup of coffee. Changes his mind. Decides to drive straight out to Malibu, California.
That's normal.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been in line for some of the Starbucks lines are a real pain in the ass, man.
Dude, while he's on the beach in Malibu, California, he says God tells him two things. He said, one, God gives him stock tips. All right. What do you think he tells him to buy with his first two stock tips?
What year is it? 70-something?
71.
IBM?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. I was going to say Apple, but I don't think they're around yet.
Yeah.
He tells him to invest in Playboy
Wow, they were public already?
and Crazy Eddies.
Are these publicly traded companies? What's Crazy Eddie's?
You don't remember Crazy Eddie
Like
commercials?
the car dealer?
Yes. No, like the fucking.
It's like a
the guy who
scrapyard guy?
He would smash TVs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it was
referenced
like
in Brave
everything's
Little
going out of-
Toaster, right?
I don't know. But like everything going out of business,
Give me that
we got to
one.
get rid of everything. One of those deals. It's like we got fucking all kinds of electronics.
Yeah. The Wiz kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he tells him to invest in Playboy and Crazy Eddie's.
Wow.
Playboy he does well. Crazy Eddie's he loses a ton of money.
What was Crazy Eddie's NASDAQ tag? CRZ EDY? Dude, CRZY.
It's like a vanity plate.
Crazy is selling like hotcakes. That's okay. That's insane.
It is.
I'm starting to think this guy is unwell.
Oh my god.
What?
The crazy. It was CRZY.
Oh, that's cool.
It's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking genius. Should I invest in Crazy
You're a
Eddie's?
stock market savant. Yeah. Shortly thereafter, he's admitted to the hospital again. Dude, he has 22 separate admissions to the hospital.
Was he in California when he got admitted again?
No.
Or he
Came back to
drove
Philly.
back? Yeah.
Came back to Philly, placed his investments. He opened up an account with Merrill Lynch, and he had a broker through them. And he would write him letters telling him what he wanted to invest in.
The broker instead
Yep.
of calling like a normal person.
Dude, there's his broker at the time for the trial produced this one letter where it's a very professional letter where Gary's writing from the mental institution, just making sure that the broker bought his 1,000 shares of Tasty Cake that he ordered.
Smart man.
Yeah. Dude, he initially opens up the Merrill Lynch account with $1,500, and when all is said and done, he makes over $500,000.
Fuck yeah.
So
Good for Gary.
he's living off this shit, and dude, while he's in the mental institution, when he's writing this letter to make sure he gets his Tasty Cakes, he applies to have the church that he's completely made up. It's called the United Church of the Ministers of God. He applies to have that incorporated. In October of 1971, his application is approved. So he's now the bishop of a church. He's now fucking Bishop Heidnick.
And this is a shell religion
It's out of his house.
just to funnel money through.
But dude, he would have religious services in his house.
Well, yeah, they might become knocking. You know, you gotta say a prayer every couple days, make sure they're not sniffing around.
And dude, he would find people through various ways. They were usually members of the black community, and many of them were intellectually disabled. So he would have a house full of these people having church services. Dude, he would be dressed like a fucking priest.
Damn.
When he's giving his sermons. And then the kicker was, in order to maintain membership and to encourage other people that were like that in the neighborhood to come to services, he would take them out to eat at fucking McDonald's and shit like that after church services. So people who had nothing, who were often discarded by society, would sit in this fucking maniac's living room and listen to him yell about God just to be taken to McDonald's after the services.
Yeah. Pretty good deal. Not again. Come on. Jesus Christ. Neglecting a duty.
Dude, oh, and one more. Man, that fucking stinks. One more Crazy Eddie note. They asked him about it at the trial. They're like, what happened with that? He's like, that was my one bad investment. And his exact words were, I couldn't resist.
What was?
Investing in
Crazy Eddie's?
Yep. All right.
Why? What happened with Crazy Eddie's? Are they not around anymore?
Nah, Eddie went a little too crazy. Crazy Eddie himself was involved in some kind of weird scheme.
Yeah.
Shocker.
When I was looking up, it said it was a big fraud thing that
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
When did they go out of business? Like the 90s or 80s?
I'm going to guess the late 80s.
Okay.
While Jake looks that up, I want to tell you about something significant that happens next. In 1976, now he becomes a landlord. So in the building where he owns the building where he lives.
Okay. Invested in property.
This is
Landlord himself.
This is on University of Penn's campus.
Okay.
He's a landlord. He owns all these apartments, and he has a tenant who's having an issue. I couldn't find out what the issue was, but judging by his response, I'm guessing she just wasn't paying rent. He turns off the electricity from the basement, and the tenant gets her boyfriend, who's a guy named Robert Rogers. She tells him what happened. He's like, oh, not a big deal. I can just go in the fucking basement and turn it on.
Mm-hmm.
The basement door is locked, so he goes outside. He opens the window, and he shimmies down into the basement. Gary Heidnick in the basement, sitting cross-legged on a baby mattress with a rifle pointed at the guy.
Yowzer.
On a baby mattress?
He looks at the guy and he says, "I'm glad you did this because now I can say that you were breaking in." And he shoots him. Fortunately, actually, he puts the rifle down and then he says that. He shoots him, but thankfully it only grazes him.
In the face?
It grazes him in the face. Before he could fire again, this guy, Robert Rogers, convinces Gary Heidnick to not shoot him again. Eventually, they make their way outside. Someone calls the police. The police come, and then when they're there trying to figure out what happened, Robert Rogers starts beating the shit out of Gary Heidnick.
Wow.
Somehow, charges were initially fired, but within a month, all charges were dropped.
Damn.
He shot a guy in the face, and he got all charges dropped.
Wow.
That's going to be a common theme in his life. He does
Really?
this incredibly fucked up shit. Dude, gets charges dropped for shooting a guy in the face, rape charges he has dropped.
How is he getting these charges dropped? Does he have a lawyer? Is he representing himself?
Dude, I think a big part of it is he just has money. And these
Damn.
people that he's victimizing are just poor black people. And in most cases, they're poor black and intellectually disabled.
Yeah.
To this point, he meets a lady in North Philly named Anjanette Davidson. Now, Gary Heidnick has an IQ somewhere between 130 and 148.
Smart guy.
Yeah, he's up there. Anjanette Davidson has an IQ of 49.
That ain't a smart.
That's very mean.
I couldn't have said it any more nicely.
Dude, so he's got her in North Philly. He gets her pregnant. During her pregnancy, he keeps her on a specific diet. So much so that she only gains 5 pounds during the pregnancy.
Wow.
Yeah, very fucked up. Her family is involved in her life, and her family finds out about how the extent of how fucked up this situation is. They take her in. She has the baby. The baby's given up to foster care. And then she still lives with Gary Heidnick. They can't take her away from him. Now, legally, yeah.
Yeah.
Her sister, Alberta, has an even lower IQ. Like, she has the IQ of a 5-year-old, and I think her IQ is 30. She is, she lives at a place on Market Street in Philly called Elwyn. It's a company I used to work for.
Whoa.
Yeah. So they provide.
What do you mean she lives there? Oh.
She in a residential facility there.
It's not an office building. It's a
social
services building.
It's a place where people with all kinds of disabilities live. And he goes there, and the sister Alberta, they sign her out for the day. They don't take her back. People from there come to find her. They're like, all right, where is she? They're like, she's not here. I don't know what you're talking about. They don't check the basement because he has her in a crawl space in the basement. It's actually a hole that he dug into the fucking basement floor.
Whoa.
And stuffed her in. And this becomes a common thing for him because he's going to gradually kidnap more and more women, all of the same kind, like women that are black and intellectually disabled.
Yeah.
This is his first one. Eventually, they come back the next day. They find her in the basement. So they take her to the hospital, get her checked out. They find out she's now got gonorrhea. So he gave her the rhea. Not the good rhea either.
She could have also had diarrhea. He could have also given her diarrhea.
They probably took her to McDonald's, so it's a logical assumption to say she also got diarrhea. So for that, he's charged with rape and unlawful restraint.
And he gets out of it.
The way that he gets out of it.
Who the fuck is the DA at this time?
And this is a direct quote from one of the detectives on the case. And I quote, they said she was too retarded to testify.
That is fucked up.
Extremely fucked up. So because they deem her too intellectually deficient to testify, all charges are dropped. When he clearly fucking did this shit.
That doesn't make any sense. She should have an advocate there speaking on her behalf, and the medical charts and information to back it up.
It is. So all the felonies are dropped. he does get convicted of whatever misdemeanors they can throw at him. For that, he gets 3 to 7 years.
Okay.
So all the felonies were dropped, I should have said. All felony charges were dropped. The best they can do is get him on the misdemeanors.
7 years for a misdemeanor?
Well, on the back end sentence. So he doesn't do all that. He's out by 1983 he's out by. So while he's in there, though, he's not even doing hard time. He's just getting transferred from max security hospitals.
Yeah.
He gets 6 max security transfers during this whole time. So he doesn't have to do actual
all throughout the
time.
state of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. He starts at Graterford and he ends up at Graterford.
He hit for the cycle.
He did, yes.
Yeah.
During this time, he's really fucking becoming a bigger and bigger stinker. At a certain point during his sentence, he just stops talking.
Pretty funny.
He won't talk. He goes in for a parole hearing. They're like, Gary, we know you can talk. Why aren't you talking? Gary, we're asking you, why aren't you talking? On a piece of paper, he writes, the devil shoved a cookie in my throat.
What kind of cookie?
A Snack Wells? Were they around yet? Devil's food cake?
Needless to say, he doesn't get paroled then. However, as he's inching closer and closer to the date where he believes he's going to be released, to the end of his sentence, he starts talking. One day, just out of the blue, he fucking talks to a guard, and a guard yells, Heidnick's talking, and then Gary Heidnick goes, whoa, would you look at that? It's a miracle. So he gets freed in April of 93. Keeps his nose clean for a couple years. In September of 1985, he starts corresponding with a woman in the Philippines named Betty Disto. He puts a nice picture of himself in this personal ad, and he does, his fucked up head looks normal at this point because he's grown his hair out so long.
Yeah. How do you get a personal ad into the Philippines?
It's like a there used to be like a matchmaking bureau which set up like mail order brides.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a weird place.
Yeah.
They would yeah, you would do great there.
Speaking from experience, it sounds like.
So he went to this matchmaking bureau, and you get a picture and you get a short description of who you are and what you're looking for. So he looks like a pretty handsome dude, and he actually can back up a lot of the shit that he's saying. Like he's
got money,
kind of wealthy, yeah. And he's got, dude. His thing is like he's popular around his neighborhood because he's got a fucking Rolls Royce, he's got a Cadillac,
fucking Rolls Royce,
and a Lincoln Continental. Dude, eventually the Rolls Royce breaks down, and he ends up putting like fucking Honda parts inside of it to try to get it to run. The best part is too, he's got his initials monogrammed on the doors.
Damn. Is he driving himself because you're not
He
balling?
is. I know, man. I know the Rolls Royce thing is you need to have a driver.
Gotta be driven.
But he's driving himself. But when you're trying to pick up intellectually disabled people, I imagine a Honda would have done the trick, but
Goddamn.
tomato.
Geo Prism would have worked, buddy.
Yeah. Dude, so he marries this woman named Betty Disto.
She's flown here.
She's flown from fucking Manila to Philly. Now in the picture she says he looks super handsome. She was very excited to meet him. She says when she arrived at the airport, he looked like Dracula.
I want to suck your dick.
Dude. I mean, Dracula can be handsome.
He's
he's displayed as handsome a lot of times.
But this looks like Dracula that went for a walk in the sunlight. Like quickly, he's treating her well initially. They meet. He brings her he takes her. I don't know remember where the fuck he took her to eat. But he took her out to eat. Then he took her back to his place. He's showing her around. He brings her upstairs to the master bedroom. He's like, and this is where we're going to sleep. She says the first thing she notices is this giant black woman snoring in bed. She said it was jarring for a number of reasons. One, she had never seen a black person before. And two,
she didn't know she was signed up for a throuple.
Yes. Oh, dude. And one of the most fucked up parts about this was that he quickly convinced her that it was normal for American marriages to invite more people into the relationship.
Damn, he was poly before it was even fucking cool.
He was. Polly wanted that cracker. And dude, he would pick up prostitutes and bring them back to the house and have his wife join in sex with the prostitutes.
Damn, she was down.
She didn't know any better. She just thought that that's how it was. And for the first couple
She
months,
might have been having a good time.
who knows, man? Beautiful woman, by the way, too. She said for the first few months he treated her pretty well, but then he gradually became more and more abusive, and his abuse ramped up when she became pregnant. Fortunately, she didn't hang around that long, and with the help of the local Filipino community, they helped her get out of the relationship.
And like out of town too?
Well, she stayed in town. Also, they were able to file spousal rape charges against him.
Wow.
Whoa.
But yet again, they didn't stick.
Damn.
All right.
Why couldn't she testify, Mike?
I don't know, man. Maybe because she went to court dressed as the Filipino fanatic. She was just sticking out her fucking razor a bunch. They're like, we don't know what you're saying, ma'am.
What's a razor?
The thing that shoots out of the Philly fanatic's mouth.
The tongue?
It's not just a tongue?
Does that look like a normal tongue to you?
What does it look like a normal person?
Is it really called the razor? Do you have
No,
like
that's just what I instantly think of when I think of that thing that comes
Because
out of
it's
Philly
razzing
fanatic's
people
mouth.
up?
I guess, man.
You created? You just call people's tongues razzers?
What do you call his belly when he's flopping in somebody's face? A blopper?
It's pretty good. Yeah, I would go with that.
A razor and a plopper, yeah.
He's not human. These aren't human parts.
Now, dude, she's pregnant with his child. She gets out of the relationship and escapes while she's pregnant. So he's fucking pissed.
He wants the baby. It's on purpose pregnancy. He wants to be a papa. Yeah.
Dude, his whole thing is like he can't have normal relationships. So his thing is he wants a family on his terms. But it's not happening with any of the people he interacts with.
Yeah.
So now his fucking wife that he bought bails on him with the kid. He can't see the fucking kid. She ends up having a girl, by the way. Can't see the fucking kid. So now he's just like, fuck this. November 25th, the night before Thanksgiving, 1986, he goes out. He picks up a prostitute named Josefina Rivera. He goes out. I think he's got the Cadillac. She's impressed by it. She says it looks great. He looks handsome. She has 3 kids, but all 3 kids were taken away. And she recently had another baby, her 3rd baby, the month prior. But that was taken away because she was smoking crack the entire pregnancy.
Yowzer.
Yeah. He's picking up this crack-addicted prostitute. Picks her up. Says, hey, what would it cost to have sex? They negotiate $20. And he's like, all right, before we do this, I want to stop and get something. He takes her to McDonald's. He gets a coffee, doesn't get her anything. Now, she says that when they're in this McDonald's, she starts to notice like how fucked up he is. When she initially got in the car, the only thing that she could really smell is like the nice new car smell.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting near him now, he smells like fucking dog shit and piss.
Does he have the jacket on?
No, he had on a jacket that he was eventually seen wearing as he's being led into custody, which was this fucking killer suede jacket with fringe on it.
Damn. Really, I'd hate to pick that up at a Goodwill after he
But the
stunk
jacket,
it up.
But she said when she could see him in this McDonald's, it had all kinds of fucking stains on it, so he clearly wasn't taking care of himself.
Yeah.
His hair had been styled, but it's greasy as shit.
Mm-hmm.
She could see that he's not taking care of himself.
Yeah, it's like seeing somebody in the dark of night and then the last call lights go on.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now she's intellectually disabled too, but she's able to pick up on that something's not right here.
Yeah. Stains are usually bad.
She's able to pick up on something not being right, so she starts asking more and more questions at this McDonald's. She's like, all right, and what's your last name? And he tells her Gary Heidnick is his full name. So she has that. He's like, all right, I'm ready to go. So he takes her back to the house. They have sex. As she goes over to put her fucking clothes on, he starts strangling her. And while he's strangling her, she's trying to plead with him. Look, she's like, just let me live. I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. He leads her. He slaps a handcuff around her wrist. Leads her down to the basement. And this is November now. So especially in 1986, November still felt like fucking November.
Yeah.
So she said she still remembers like how cold the cement floor felt on her feet.
Yeah.
Gets down to the basement, shackles her, informs her that she's being held captive for the purpose of breeding. And he goes into the details about how his wife took off on him while she was pregnant, and he tells this poor woman, society owes me a family.
Yowzer, dude.
Jeez.
Tells her that he's keeping her for the purpose of breeding and puts her into this fucking hole that he's dug in the basement. She can't fit, so essentially gets to the point where her knees are up to her fucking chin in order to fit. Now, at this point, she doesn't know that others are on the way, but he's going to kidnap more and more women and put them in the same predicament.
Like different holes? Does he start digging other little pods?
No, well, what he would do is, like, they were chained all throughout the basement, and then the hole became used as a means of punishment.
It was the hole.
Yes.
Yeah.
And during this time, too, so this is the first cap. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where there's, unfortunately, going to be a ton of sexual assaults, daily sexual assaults.
Jesus.
2 are going to be murdered. 1's going to have her head cut off. And then the remains of one of them is going to be fed to the other captives, mixed in with dog food.
Oh, my God.
Jesus Christ.
So now it seems like a good time to switch over to the Patreon.
I haven't ever heard this guy. This is
Is
fucking
this-
terrible.
Dude, he lives right off of Temple's campus.
This
Oh
is
my
like
God.
a
Not anymore.
very upsetting
He did. He lived
season
there.
of The Bachelor that's going on here. I wanted to just update you guys real quick before we jump over. Crazy Eddie's closed in 1989
Okay.
and was involved in fraud from the beginning, where they were like inflating
The mafia stuff?
It was all like bookkeeping,
Okay.
like inventory, lying about their inventory and stuff like that. It said that the Anter family, they're the ones who owned it, took like like $1 million to $3 million every year, and
Just avoiding paying taxes, like rightful taxes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they did something called the Panama Pump, which is
Teach me about the pump.
This sounds like the opposite of the Provo soak.
the Panama Pump. Oh God, it just disappeared. It's a tactic where you basically you take your profit money, even if it's low, and then you put it in offshore bank accounts, and then you reinvest that money into the same store. So I don't know how it works.
Yeah.
Because I'm not Gary Heidnick and I'm not good with money, but they were just doing that to just kind of inflate their numbers to keep the stock number up and to keep people like investing in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jake, would you be willing to take off your sweatpants and demonstrate the Panama Pump? To the best of your knowledge.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Or shoot out your razor at us. What did you call his belly? The blobber?
The
Blobber.
Yeah.
You
All
can
right, that's
blop
good
us,
too.
you can razz us.
All right, so we got a few murders, a few beheading, and some human remains being mixed in with dog food to speak about on the Patreon app. So if you're not a
Making
patron
me
already,
hungry.
Yeah. Thanks for not letting us eat dog food today, Mike.
Dude.
if you're not a patron already, you can go to patreon.com/lilstinkers. That's LILSTINKERS. You see part 2 of this episode. We early release all the episodes on Patreon. Every month we're going to have extra episodes for you. We're going to have the Ask Us Anything like we did tonight, which was a fucking killer time.
Yeah, that was a fun time.
We're going to be adding more and more things as the months progress here. So please come have fun with us over on Patreon. That's patreon.com/lilstinkers, LILSTINKERS, and join us to find out what this little devil ends up doing. It's a little bit more than what I told you guys, too.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you.
See you there.